Back with another segment of MI Tech News TV. With me today are Lawrence Technological University President Dr. Tarek Sobh, and also our longtime Dean of Engineering, Dr. Nabil Grace, who has a new role here at Lawrence Tech, which is what we're going to talk about today. So, welcome to the show, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
All right, Dr. Soap, let's start with you. Lawrence Tech has long been regarded as a fine teaching institution, but had somewhat less of a sponsored research effort. You came here and you're aiming to change that in a big way. And one of the ways we're doing that is a new division, a new office that you have announced. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
of course. Well, as you mentioned, Matt, when I joined the university first as provost in 2020, and then assuming the presidency in 2022, we did have a budding research portfolio across the campus. But I think for a long while, we have been hesitant to come out right out and say that we are becoming much more research and scholarship focused than we had been for the last 20 and 30 and 40 years. So I deemed it appropriate, given the amazing intellectual power within Lawrence Tech, and given the great research and scholarship being done in every one of our colleges, to really provide support for the faculty members so they can thrive within their scholarship activities and or research. And that means everything. It means the acquisition of funding. It means scholarly publications. It means participating at a much higher level in international conferences and propping up their journal publications, etc. So initially we started by establishing the Office of Sponsored Research I think it was in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, and hiring a director for the Office of Sponsored Research. Then we tried to expand that activity a little bit further by starting an office for institutional grants to reinvigorate and enrich activities and economic development in general. And then after assuming the presidency, I leaned on my good friend and colleague, Dean Nabil Grace, and asked for his help to be doing double duty, really, as both our Dean of Engineering and also our first Vice President for Research, which he has graciously accepted and did that role for a little bit more than a year, focusing primarily on sponsored research activities with amazing results, actually, during that 1.5 years. The bottom line is simple, really. After doing this for that period, it became evident that our activities and the support mechanism and the renewed interest on external funding and reinvigorating research and scholarship activities has produced very significant outcomes. When I first came in, other than tuition and other than philanthropy, the external funding was maybe shy of $500 million a year for a long while. This year, that number actually is approaching $7 to $8 billion. As a matter of fact, maybe even a little bit more. So we have been exponentially increasing and enriching our research footprint, our projects of significant intellectual merit and broader impact. Our faculty have been doing wonderful work in the acquisition of national science foundations and the grants and NIH and state funding and industry funding. And it's becoming a thriving ecosystem. And we felt that it is the time that we put all of the activities that result in external funding other than tuition and philanthropy under the umbrella of a new division, the Division of Research and Economic Development, which encompasses sponsored research, institutional grants, industry-supported research, and also appropriations and community projects and congressional directed spending and entrepreneurship. In addition, of course, to commercialization and tech transfer activities under one division. And of course, there was no more qualified and appropriate member of our community to head that division other than Dr. Nabil Grace, easily the most eminent researcher that Lawrence Tech has actually seen, in its glorious 92-year history. So now we have all of these type of activities and office structured under the umbrella of the Division of Research and Economic Development, headed by Dr. Grace, who transitioned out from the Dean of Engineering job because, of course, this is a much larger responsibility, and is now Lawrence Technological University's Senior Vice President for Research and Economic Development. And obviously, we have incredible high aspirations. As I mentioned, last I saw that number being generated from that office, other than, again, the activities of philanthropy, regular tuition monies, and the accelerator is about $7 to $8 billion, approaching actually 10. And we have high aspirations that that trend will continue, not only in funding, but in the establishment of new research centers, new interdisciplinary research programming, collaborations both locally, regionally, internationally, and nationally with other institutions to acquire more funding in different areas, in addition, of course, to acquiring funding from foundations as we have been, but to expand that and industry research and such.
All right. So, Dr. Grace, you are heading up this new division of research and economic development for Lawrence Tech. Tell us a little bit about what the charge of that particular office is and what your duties will be in this new role, please.
First, let me express my gratitude to our president for his kind words. Certainly, he has a great vision, and we are so grateful for his vision about what we're going to do and what we have been doing. So I'm very grateful to him and for his kind words. Let me just say the following. The Division of Research and Economic Development is very essential to the success of any institution. So our president here came up with the idea that let's put everything under the same umbrella, not because of our faculty members, students, but also because of our community. This would be greatly impacting our community, like the city of Southfield and beyond. So what we are looking for here, a new division that will have 6 sections under that division. And if I pick one or two of them, for example, as the president said, sponsored research. Within the last year alone, we doubled, tripled the amount of research. Not only that, our great faculty members, our students, submitted a significant number of research proposals that have been funded by state government, federal government, private organization, and we see much more coming our ways. So it's a very logical step. If I can add one more item, developing new center of excellence, industrial. For example, we are looking right now for what they call it, Center of Healthcare Safety. This is very important for us to move forward and also will impact our community, the city of Southfield and beyond. We have also Center of Construction Safety. We need to expand this horizontally so we can include different other states. So the sky is the limit, and certainly we have a lot of things to add to this, and faculty members are amazing, students are outstanding.
All right, and among the things you're doing is you are also providing pathways for Lawrence Tech faculty and staff to get better at securing external research funding, correct?
Absolutely, and we have invited many people from the government agency to come over here to talk to us. We are communicating with people around us to jointly submit proposals, and certainly we are creating a lot of impact on this. And faculty member, you can see them. Most about maybe 50% of our faculty now are writing proposals. And I'm not talking about Mickey Mouse proposals. I'm talking about very well-rounded proposals that actually hit the ground running.
Mm-hmm. All right. So if people want more information on Lawrence Tech's growing research effort, and in fact, how they can put the talents of Lawrence Tech faculty and staff and researchers to work for their business, for their for their organization, should they contact you, or how should they go about doing that?
Absolutely. We are going to have a web page that will be talking about research at Lawrence Tech, about the new division, and certainly my phone number, my email address on the web page, and certainly would be delighted to work with them.
All
And,
right.
and let me tell you what that email is. N as in Nabil Grace, ngrace@ltu.edu. So we welcome the viewers to contact Dr. Grace directly to explore collaboration opportunities in all kinds of efforts that are economic development related, whether it's industry efforts, foundation efforts, community projects, sponsored research, and any such type of activity. Yeah.
All right. Well, Lawrence Tech growing its research and putting it to work for the community. Thanks very much for being with us today, Dr. Nabil Grace and Dr. Tarek Sobh, President of Lawrence Tech.